I'm Jill Hogan, Commissioner of Development Services for the town of Milton, and I had the privilege of working with Myron throughout my career.
My name is Helen Mihaliti. I'm a partner in the law firm of Brady's LLP, and I'm honored to have been asked to say a few words today about our friend Myron Pestaluky.
Hello, my name is Silvio Guglietti of Melrose Investments, and it's my honor to have a part in paying tribute to Myron and his many contributions to our industry. I started back dealing with Myron when he was still with National Homes.
I met Myron many years ago when we started doing secondary plans in Clarington. I knew him as a person who would bring the private and the public sectors together.
Anyone who knew Myron and worked with Myron knew of his remarkable business abilities. But today, when I was asked to speak, I want to speak about the Myron that I knew over the 40 years that I worked with him and knew him. Myron was the most kind, thoughtful, and compassionate person in the business. That came through our business relationship and our personal relationship. In business, we started together years ago when I was at Runnymede and he was at Bramalea, and I very often used him as a shoulder to lean on. I was a young person in the business and needed a mentor, and Myron was my mentor, and on many occasions I leaned on that shoulder. In my personal life, Myron always asked about my son Spencer, and it wasn't just a casual interest. He was interested and always knew what was happening. That thoughtfulness came through so many times. And my most memorable part of Myron will be his kindness and his compassion and his thoughtfulness.
Myron was one of those people you remembered immediately, not just because I insisted on calling him Colonel Saunders, particularly during those years he was sporting that very dapper goatee, which he tolerated with good humor, but because he brought both personality and integrity into everything that he did. And if you ever got a voicemail from Myron, you knew exactly who it was before he even said his name. It always started the same way. Well, 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 Ms. Hogan. And somehow that greeting made even the most complicated planning issue feel manageable.
He helped me learn the business, and we together were navigating through figuring out how do you deal with cost sharing, how do we deal with group dynamics.
Yes, we know Myron was smart. We know he was a listener, and very few people in our industry know how to listen, and Myron did listen. He was a problem solver. He was a strategist, and he was a mentor and a teacher. And the fact that Delta Urban is as strong as it is today is proof of his mentorship and his abilities.
And the way Myron worked with us, we got 2 secondary plans approved when I was there, practically without any public opposition. With Myron, we felt that we could disagree with him. He would always be very respectful of our views, and he would explain the developer's perspective in a very nice, concise way, like a teacher, very respectful, patiently, and dealt with our issues in a very fair way. He never wanted to win an argument by saying, I'm going to the mayor or to the CAO. He always explained the developer's perspective in a very concise and intellectual way, like a teacher.
Despite the strong and opinionated personalities in our business, Myron always managed to have a very strong presence in whatever meeting we were in. He had a strong presence, but he was respectful and courteous. And he always managed to get the job done.
With his unique combination of determination and diplomacy, he knew how to bring everyone together, developers, consultants, and municipal partners alike, and move forward in a way that addressed everyone's concerns and to the benefit of all.
I believe he was one of the pioneers, one of the people that was there through the thick of it, working with so many different amazing people in our industry, which I'm grateful to be a part of.
What I valued most about Myron was trust. I always knew where I stood with him. He never blindsided me, never played games, and never tried to create surprises. He was honest, direct, and a true partner in the work. In a world where that isn't always the case, Myron stood out.
In short, Myron, in my opinion, had the highest land development IQ.
I also learned a great deal from Myron, especially in my earlier days when walking into a landowner group meeting sometimes felt like Bambi entering a den of wolves. Myron showed me how to navigate those rooms, bring competing interests together, and pull people towards a shared outcome so development could actually get done. He understood that progress comes from relationships, patience, and trust, not just policy or process.
There were many, many times when we would connect after a meeting, and even sometimes during the meeting itself, to bounce ideas off each other and find, as he always said, the path forward. He showed us all how to get things done with class, clarity, and determination. Myron taught us how to be better professionals and, more importantly, better people. And his legacy will live on in all of us, in the organization that he founded in Delta Urban, and in the industry that he helped to build.
The difficulties today in terms of producing communities is tougher than ever. And having people like Myron at the table himself and his philosophy and his thinking is more important now than it's ever been. We need it more than we've ever had. And if we want to honor him, I think what we need to do is to continue us together, all of us in BILD, all of us in the industry, to keep looking for ways to work together and find solutions. Yes, he's deeply missed, there's no question. His legacy will always be the projects, the communities that were built, the way we do business together today, and I hope we continue with that.
I think everyone in this room who knew him will say the same thing. He was a gentleman, he was our friend, he was our mentor, and we will all miss him dearly.
Myron's personal qualities exemplified what the leadership looks like: respect, patience, and working together. I was fortunate to be one of his students, and I miss my teacher.
So thank you to Myron for getting us started and helping us be here. He's not the only one, there are others, but he was a huge part of it, and let's all continue in his honor. So cheers.
I'm so pleased that Myron is being remembered and honored through the BILD Hall of Fame. It feels exactly right. His legacy isn't just in the projects he helped shape, but in the way he showed up steadily, respectfully, and with genuine care for the people across the table. On behalf of the town of Milton and the Development Services team, I extend our sincere condolences to Myron's family, friends, and to the entire Delta Urban team. He will be deeply missed and fondly remembered.